What are you eating there?
Breakfast sandwich.
Can we get a quick food review?
Yeah. Sounds very good.
That's the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, sourdough, some bacon.
As you can tell, it's homemade.
Yeah, straight from Mom's kitchen. What's cranking, wieners? Welcome back. It is a new day up here in Maine. This is kind of one of our last days for the summer send before we head back to Texas. We will be probably back up here later in the season, but as far as June and July is concerned, this is kind of it. This is one of the last videos we're filming, and I've got Kayla here, and we're gonna try to see if we can catch some fish. Today's mission is gonna be pretty interesting because we're gonna be chasing after two different species, one of which you guys are familiar with, the other one you guys probably aren't. And it's a fish I have tried to catch so many times when I come up here, and I can't seem to do it. But we have some heavy artillery today. I went and bought some, well, I'll show you what I bought, but essentially we're having to get technical with it. You may be able to tell we got some new hardware on the old Lunsky. I went and purchased and installed some downriggers. If you guys aren't familiar with these, you will be today. I'll show you guys how these work and how they can be super vital for catching the fish that we're chasing after. You guys probably can guess what we're going after. Last time I was at this lake, we tried to catch them, that being togue, aka lake trout, and we couldn't make it happen. But I had a derby here not too long ago with my buddy Grant, and when we were smallmouth fishing in 30 feet of water, I actually found a school of togue. Of course, that's how it works. You go smallmouth fishing and you find lake trout. So I figured I'd bring back the Lund with some downriggers. We even got some dead bait. We're gonna see if we can try to catch some of those lakers today. And then also, of course, we have that plan B option of catching some big smallmouth. Although they won't be on beds today. They're probably gonna be very, very deep, like 30, 25, 40 feet of water, which is insane. It can be fun because usually the deep fish are big ones. I'm gonna get the Duncans in the boat, pack some waters, get all situated, stick with it, stay tuned, and let's go crank. It's really peaceful, isn't it? You ready to go fishing? Nice grab, by the way. Mad skills. Did you put the plug in?
No.
Are you serious? We're gonna sink. Very excited that you're joining me on today's mission.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Actually, in reality, she's guiding me today. I have no idea how to catch lake trout. You probably know more about lake trout than I do, for being honest. I'm gonna pause the camera real quick because my boat's not turning on. Aside from, you know, the bodacious smallmouth and the lanky lakers that are in this lake, this spot is notorious for its clean water. It's crystal clear. It's arguably some of the cleanest water you can find just north of Bangor. There's a few other lakes I can think of that are this clean, but this kind of takes the cake. It's one of those places where you can look down on a day like today and see all the way at the bottom when your boat's sitting in 20 feet. Kaylee's actually been to this lake once. I didn't catch much, remember that? We went out here and I was like, I'm gonna show you a big smallmouth. I was trying to impress you.
And you caught them
like literally,
like 2 of them.
yeah,
That big.
it was that year spawn. But I will say, the other day I caught some big fish. I'm feeling like maybe today's a good day to impress you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you excited
Brown
to catch today? Think we'll catch anything at all?
If we're lucky.
We're lucky. I like that mentality. Check this out though. This is what we got. Last time I went laker fishing, I was a goob. I brought like giant spoons, big swim baits. This is what we got this go around. Pickled smelt. If you know, you know. This stuff is gas. This is like the gas pack for lake trout. I always thought frozen smelt was the move, but I went to this bait and tackle store and I was like, you guys got any frozen smelt? And they're like, frozen smelt? Who uses frozen smelt? I'm like, oh yeah, totally, yeah. No, I don't use frozen smelt. He's like, you guys gotta try pickled smelt. So I bought some pickled smelt. One thing I didn't realize is they're expensive. Guess how much a little tiny Ziploc baggie of pickled smelt is? $10. So I dropped $40 on pickled smelt, which means we better catch a lake trout. $40 deep, not to mention everything else in this boat. Whew. I think we're gonna start off with some trolling. Okay? Do some trolling, and then if that doesn't work, we maybe go find the smallmouth, because last time when I found the smallmouth, I found the lake trout. Regardless of what's gonna happen today, we will catch fish. They just may not be the ones we're after. We're gonna go find a deep hole right now, see if we can locate them. If we do catch some nice lakers, we should bring them home too, because they can be pretty good, especially the smaller ones. Let's go have a day of it. Stick with it, stay tuned, and let's go crank. Okay, so first time trolling, first time troller, first time lake trout fisherman. Or sorry, we're in Maine. First time toger. We're pretty much in the same boat. I have caught tons of lake trout before, but it's always been like with other people who know what they're doing. So I want to do this myself. I want to figure it out. These are what we have as far as trolling rods go. They're pretty dust, but we're gonna make it work. A lot of guys around here don't even really use downriggers. They use lead core, and they just let that sink all the way to the bottom. For those of you guys who don't know, this is a downrigger. They come in many different shapes and sizes. This is probably one of the more bougier ones you can get. It's electric. Some are hand crank, but this one's electric. Virtually, I can fish any depth with a downrigger. I can fish 300 feet of water with a crankbait that only dives a foot. I'm gonna show you guys how. First and foremost, you need the most essential thing with any downrigger, and that is your ball. Today we're using 8-pound balls. Some guys use 15-pound. That's a nice ball, isn't it? Nice ball. This is your ball, and then you've got a clip that attaches to your line. And you send the ball down, you tie the ball to the downrigger. Here, I might as well show you. It clips to your line, or sorry, you got a clip that clips to your ball, and you just cinch that in. Now your ball is secure. And you take this clip, and what you do there is usually you send out like more line than what I'm about to show you, but just for demonstrational purposes. Is that even a word, demonstrational? Just for the sake of a demonstration, I'm gonna show you what you do. You basically take your line, you basically take your clip and you clip it to your line right there. And depending on what size fish you're chasing after, how hard they're biting, you can clip it farther back for heavier fish or closer to the tip if it's a lighter bite, like if you're fishing for brookies. And if a fish eats it, pulls that line, sends that rod up, and then you reel them in, your ball just stays down there. Pretty cool way to fish. I mean, if you don't like trolling, then I wouldn't recommend even bothering listening to what I just said, but it can be fun. I like it because it's very technical. You have to mess around with different depths, different colors of spoons. Sometimes they don't want artificial at all. You have to wrap smelt in your artificials, which in my opinion defeats the purpose completely, but you know, you got to get the job done. What do you think? Is that pretty good? Did I explain that? Did you now know more about downrigging?
Yeah.
It's like a dummy telling a dummy how to fish a downrigger. What do you think? I need your help here. Okay. Should I throw perch or should I throw whatever this is?
Whatever this is.
Yes? Okay, so we're going more smelt presentation. I also agree. Might as well keep it natural, you know? Right. That's an Austin Powers quote. That's some fish right there. Unfortunately, I'm right below them. They're like super shallow back there. So that right there is that rod, and that top line right there is this rod. I'm trolling pretty shallow right now. I'm sitting in 60, but I'm seeing a whole lot of activity way up in the water column. We've got one spoon and one little tiny crank, and we are running through quite a lot of life right now, and I think the clouds and the calm weather has these fish pushed up off the bottom. Yep. Oh. What the hell? Yeah.
They gotta be a little itty bitty.
They're little. We are currently running through absolute biomass of smelt and probably some perch too. My bait hasn't reached him yet. That's just right under the boat, but. Well, we trolled for, what was it, like 2 hours? Had 3 bites. No hookups. Kind of lost our trout weather here. It's still calm, but it's really sunny now, so I think these fish are probably a little bit deep. We could always revisit this bite, but usually when the sun comes out, I've heard it's better to chase after them with the jigging technique. And we're gonna kind of bounce between chasing smallmouth and Lakers because they do hang together, which is pretty cool. At least in this lake. I don't know about all lakes in general. It's pretty old-fashioned right there. A few strikes, enough to get the blood pumping. Now that it's hot, it's time to move around a bit. I get too hot when I sit. I need to actually keep on my toes before I melt to death. Okay. Right now we're posted up in 31 feet of water. This is actually on the shallower side of where I should be fishing for these bass right now. Looks like there's a couple. I just saw one on the bottom. Generally, if they're glued to the bottom, they're gonna be smallmouth. And if they're up like a couple feet above the bottom, they're gonna be Lakers. So I've got a Laker rod up here too, ready to go with some pickled smelt, my favorite ever. God, I love pickled smelt. Not to fish with, but just primarily to eat. So good. Is that a fish already? That was quick. Literally first cast in like 30 feet of water and I'm on. It's a good one too. That was so quick. Oh my God, it's a giant. Literally first cast. Oh, there he goes again. That's so sick. These deep water holes hold such big smallmouth. I think it's probably close to 4. How cool was that?
That's awesome.
Took no time at all. Oh, just scream and drag. Ate it on the way down too. Oh, you're mean and ugly. I love you. Get over here. You know, they never quit. They just never quit. Oh my God, come here. I got you. There we go. First smallmouth of the day, probably close to 4. Unbelievable. You mind holding the camera real quick? Thanks. Ate the little rattling net. I actually take the rattles out when I'm drop shotting with it because it makes that tail end float. Little tip for you guys. The rattle's awesome, but it's better when it's on an actual net head. Good fish. We're gonna get a weight and see how big she is. Big old ugly. I love it. 3.68. Over 3.5 pounds. If we can get a couple of these guys and some Lakers today, we're having ourselves a good time out here in Maine. Good fish, good start. See ya, Bubba. Back down in 30 feet she goes. Put it there. Nice job. Do that again. Usually where there's one big ugly, there's another. 38 feet of water. God bless it, that's deep. This is definitely the deepest I've ever fished for smallmouth. Gotta do what you gotta do this time of year. It's funny, the water's really not even that warm, but these smallmouth are so partial to any sort of temperature change that they piss off to the depth. Even when it gets just a little bit hot, they don't like the heat at all. Another one, another big one. Way deep. How cool was that? I saw him, he was suspended in 15 feet of water, dropped the Ned down there and he crushed it. Yeah, he's a little bit smaller. He's not that small though. He's very cool. Oh wow, did you hear that? Hit the boat. Nice. Fish number 2, not as big, but equally as rambunctious. Long leader, little Ned. Probably about 2 pounds. We're just gonna send him back, not gonna weigh him. These smallmouth are in this deep water, one, to escape the heat, like I said, but they're also here because the deep water is what holds the smelt. The smelt aren't going to be shallow unless it's windy and overcast and cool, but the smelt are going to be deep. They're going to be roaming around in big schools, and like lake trout, the smallmouth will chase down massive schools of smelt. Smelt to me is like the northern shad. Like they just don't stand a chance up against anything that's predatory. Look at that fish too. That's the fish I just released. Let's see if you guys can see him. There he is. Oh, there's another one right there too. He went right back down to the bottom. He's hanging with his buddy. If you've never fished with a rattle and Ned, you really should. This video should be a testament to that. It's one of our more popular finesse baits out there. It's one of my favorites next to the 5-inch lunker. But what we've done with this is we've put a little glass rattle in the tail end, which is so clutch, so key for, you know, deep water Ned fishing for smallmouth and largemouth. In this case, I like drop shotting these because it's super subtle and it resembles a crawfish. It resembles a little smelt, especially in our other more like brighter colors. This, in my opinion, resembles more of a craw. So what I do is I just kind of poop that little rattle part out of the booty end of the Ned. Take this and I just put it away. I don't even need it anymore. And that creates kind of an air pocket. So when I'm drop shotting this, it stays level. That tail end kind of floats up and it wiggles right in front of the fish's face. I don't know what it is. It just gets him going. I fish with the rattle in the bait and it works good, but every time I've taken it out, it seems to get him to react really seamlessly. Just kind of sticking with what works here. We can find some more. And I'm just using my graph to kind of locate them. That first big one came on the blind cast, but it's good to use your electronics in deep water, find out where they're at, and then snipe them. Pew! Snipe them. There's some smelt. That's a good sign. Oh, there's one right there. It's coming all the way up for it. Let's see. Oh, that might be a Laker. Oh no, he's got it. Good one. Oh, he came off. That was a good fish. That was a big one. He was just suspended. That was weird. There's another one on the bottom. See if I can get him. That's a unit. Oh my god, that thing is big. Please be a smallmouth, because if you are, you're huge. Eat it. Good one. Oh my god, that's a big fish. Oh, it's giant. That was pretty stupid. That right there was pretty dumb. We'll have to give this. Oh, there he goes, back down. Oh, it's a screamer. I saw him floating through right in front of him, and he said, yeah, let me get that. I had a Laker chase me up too. It's so funny how these, oh, it's so big. That's awesome. There's no better fish to catch up here in Maine other than trout. In the net she goes. Another high 3-pounder. My goal for today is to catch at least one lake trout and a 4-pound smallmouth. I'm gonna guess 3.5. See, last time I was here, I was catching fish that were probably about as big as the tail. So,
yep.
I'm doing a lot better, aren't I? Oh yeah. 3.5 pounds. Another toady. Thank you so much, big girl. Catching 3s and 30 feet. See you, buddy. Nice soft release for you. Phew! The old GT Buster send off. You. Little rat pack coming. Oh my gosh. Just caught this little smallmouth. Look what's down his gullet. Nothing but smelt. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. These fish are out in 30 feet eating primarily just this right here. Smelt eaters. Here, I'll put it back in there, guy. You deserve that meal. Thank you. Little micro school of them, like 4 or 5. Threw right on top of him and it was like clockwork. It was like boom, he ate it. Those look pretty good too. Those do not look like small ones. Oh, I'm in a perfect spot for him too. I should find that. Where'd they go? It's like they spooked off when I went down there. He's got it. Oh, my drag is so loose. Ooh, not a bad one. Probably another 2-pounder. Ooh, just came undone. Barely hooked. See ya. Those look big. Nope, not big. Oh no, that's pretty big. Jesus Christ. I didn't think it was big at all. They just come up so quick, they fool you. Little hooks, light line, deep water. Another 3-pounder, give or take. Yeah, that's a good fish. There's a whole school of them out there. And the net she goes. Another piggy. Another piggy. Oh, hook just came out too. Lovely. That might go 3. We'll see. Yes, let's go. Another 3-pounder. 319. Thanks, man. Another nice one. 3-pounder. You're figuring them out today. This is so much fun. Back you go, Stinky. Oh boy, here we go. That might be decent. Yep, that's pretty good. Good Lord, there's 2 of them too. If I only had 2 hooks on the drop shot, that'd have been mental. So much, oh, good one. Absolute beast. In the net she goes. Having the net is nice because we are using such light line today. You don't want these fish to make one weird move and then break off. This is actually probably about a 2-pounder, but still a nice fish. We'll put them on the scale just in case. can't believe it. The Lakers, yet again, have eluded me. I don't know how to catch lake trout. It's dawned on me that I am probably one of the worst lake trout anglers in the entire state of Maine. But what we did catch is some really nice smallmouth. I got my scale over here. I'm gonna tell you guys what our best, I only weighed 6. Usually these derbies in Maine, they go by like 7 fish limits. That is if you're fishing with a partner. Am I losing my, it sounds like I'm losing my voice, doesn't it? We definitely caught more than 6 fish, obviously, but I only weighed 6. So with 6 fish, we had like 18 pounds. 2 3.5 pounders, 1 3-pounder, and one that was just shy of 3, and then a couple of high 2s. Didn't get that 4 though. I was hoping to catch that 4-pounder. I think maybe there's a couple times I hooked the giant, like maybe a 4-pound bass, but you know, I'm not gonna be that guy where like, I think I had one, but no, it was a fun time. There's something so sick about going on Panoptics and just scoping these little jimmies out and throwing the little tiny Ned rig in there and just watching them like destroy. I never knew how hard smallmouth go for drop shots until I really started to pay attention to my graph. If you guys are curious and interested in picking up some rattling Neds, I would highly suggest you do so. Don't think of them as solely a Ned-based soft plastic. They work super well on drop shots, and that's actually one of my favorite ways to use them. Just doing a little bit of drop shotting with the 2-inch Ned can absolutely destroy some big finicky smallmouth, especially if you're fishing 30 feet of frickin' water. Our deepest fish today came out of 40 foot, so it's pretty insane. I'm glad we ended on a high note. I was worried we would not catch fish today. Again, we still need to get that lake trout. Maybe that's something that we tackle in a later season, like kind of that fall, late summer range. But as of now, I'm like really confused. We even jigged for them too. Used the pickled smelt and everything. Didn't want it. We got swerved heavily. Nice little last minute run in the old red Lunsky. This was quite a nice little journey. I appreciate you guys watching today's video. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. As always, folks, keep fishing, never stop.